What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great day as always. It's been a while. A few of you might have noticed I'm shooting on a new camera today. Finally picked up a 360 camera, the Insta360 X. I think this might be the right one to jump into the 360 game. But yeah, we'll see if it works with my editing style and my flow, and if you guys all like it. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. All right, let's get this. Alright, what are your thoughts so far? Audio, video, don't judge my skating right now. I am a little out of practice. Do you guys have any comments about how to shoot with this thing better? Little tips, tricks? People have been using it for a while. I'd love that information right now. I've been scouring the internet, just kind of getting the basics on it, but if any of you have any information, I'd love it. All right, let's go. Alright, I think that's gonna be about it for today. Just a quick session just to test this out, maiden voyage on a new camera. I'm gonna go look at the footage and I'll tell you what I think about it on my first impressions. Let's get inside. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that little skate edit. I've only had one day using this new toy of mine. What do I think of it so far? Well, I'm gonna go back to the good old pros and cons to figure that out. So for the first pro, this thing shoots in 360 degrees. Well, actually, it shoots in more than that. in all the degrees, it's like it's a sphere. That's really cool because wherever I stick this thing, like right over here, I'm literally getting everything around it. I mean, you guys probably know all about 360 cameras by now, but it allows me as the user to focus on what I'm doing as skating and not on, you know, oh shoot, the camera's not pointing exactly in my direction back at me, which is really, really cool. And that's like the biggest feature for this thing. The second pro is the fact that this thing has an invisible selfie stick. Well, not really, because you can see the selfie stick here. But what happens is anything kind of in this line, this edge, gets stitched out of it, kind of gets pulled together. So anything in this line gets erased, which is basically the selfie stick gets erased. That's a cool feature because you know my videos all too well. I'm used to having that black selfie stick, you know, in my shots. Not the end of the world, you know, it is what it is. You can still tell I'm holding a stick with this thing, but it's really neat because you can get, you know, my full body without a stick, It feels more like a drone following me around almost. Yeah, so that's the second pro. So for that third pro, it's got to be the build quality. This thing just feels great. I mean, yeah, it's not like metal and like super premium, but for $400, like it really feels like a nice heavy duty, well constructed, well thought of piece of tech. The other thing about it is the button placements, the big screen right here. There's just a lot of great usability, like product design to it, that it just feels more intuitive than even say the GoPro, and it's a more complex camera. I was expecting this thing to just jump into it and there's just too many options and like, how do I switch things to here to there? It was like the first day I just felt right at home with it, which is actually something to be said. Like usability is amazing. The fourth pro, the fact that it has two cameras, basically two cameras in one. It has the 360 camera, the sphere camera, which is what I bought it for. But it's cool because you don't always have to shoot in that sphere mode, in that sphere 360 mode. You can shoot with just one or the other camera, either this camera out front or this camera on back. So I essentially have two cameras. I have a 360 camera and my GoPro with me, just my super wide angle GoPro. Is it as good as just a GoPro? No, but it's nice to have, especially when I'm doing like the talking, two camera thing. I can just do one click on this button right here. It switches out of 360 mode and I can talk to just one camera and I push back to 360 mode and I'm starting to roll again. That's a cool, just having that simple ability to have the two different cameras setups with just one click of a button. Super cool. And the fifth pro, it's got to be that battery life. The battery life on this thing is amazing. It says it's like an hour, I think, is what these things are rated at. I was out, camera on the whole time, shooting most of the time. I was skating for about 45, 50 minutes or so. And then I came in and I had still over 50% battery. So it's got to be in the hour and a half range, I would guess. Yeah, this thing is rock solid. All right, so what are the cons? One major con that I wish there was just some way of doing it better, which I just don't think there is physically to make a 360 camera work. That is, it's not rugged enough. Like, these things are marketed as an action camera, which yes, I can see they are an action camera, but like a true action camera to me is a camera that I can literally throw around on the ground or like fall with, or, it can take a beating and the image, or it won't break, or the image quality isn't affected by my falls or mistreating of the camera. It's a big reason that like I don't shoot on my cell phone, because I don't want to dangle my cell phone out in front of me on a selfie stick and it fall and it break, because the cell phone's got great video quality. It's just the GoPro is what I shoot on because it's a cheap, durable camera that I can fall with and it's not going to break, and I keep shooting in it with it fall after fall after fall. This I don't consider a true action camera, and that's because of it's not rugged enough. And it's the two glass balls right here, the lenses on each side. They protrude out quite a bit on each side. So if this thing goes over, it's hitting that lens. And even when I'm not skating with it, like I'm so scared to like just put this thing down, on the table, because it's going to rest on its lens. Like there's no other way of this thing resting without it falling onto a lens. That scares me. The first time I was skating with this thing today, I was scared to even put it close to the ground, just in case like I bobbled and it like dipped down and one of these lenses hit the ground. Because the second this thing hits the ground, this camera be bye-bye. If a little nick in the glass is there, just some imperfection in the glass, that's going to show in all your shots for the rest of time. That's why you have to get a lens protector for this camera, in my opinion, to make it an action camera. And even at that point, these are still glass. You can still get messed up. So if I fall with this thing, it might be another $30, $30 to replace this thing every time I fall. So that's a big struggle with me. Like a big con to these is still the fact that they are not rugged enough to truly call action cameras that I can throw anywhere, do anything with, and still shoot and get the same footage I did when it was new. So the second con has to do with this guy right here, the lens protector, and degrading image quality, and introducing artifacts to the image that are just not desirable. what happens here when you put a lens protector on these things is the stitch line is what I'm talking about. Because I have a little bit bigger, bulkier camera lens protector on, they're going to be a little bit bigger stitch lines that this thing has to deal with. So that's a huge disadvantage, because then my image looks, it's got this imperfect like line through it, which really kind of sucks. But it is what it is to be able to shoot, you know, in 360 and be able to take a fall and, you know, not be out $400 every time I fall with this thing. The second is, you probably noticed in that footage from today, was the flares. The flares are so wicked with these cameras, because it is like a 360-degree lens, like a two fisheye lenses stuck together. So when you get super high angled light hitting and going through this glass and then bouncing around in there, it can make some wicked lens flares and reflections of this lens on the other lens, and like almost kind of fogged or ghosted looking. It really just makes me cringe as a person that likes filmmaking. It's just a big con to me too. The third con, when you get back into your editing bay and you have all these 360 files that you can't just drop into somewhere and start editing with, you actually have to either take them into their software, which I think is really good, or into Premiere Pro or something, and you actually have to basically point to where the camera needs to go now, because you shot this giant 360 thing and we're not going to be watching it in VR. We have to create these flat baked down images in like 16:9 or something aspect ratio, like, oh, I want this shot over here and then I want the camera to follow here and here, which is really cool. That's the reason I got this. But the amount of time it takes when you have a bunch of 360 clips that you actually have to go through and export before you can import and start doing your actual edit, it's a whole nother step of like pre-editing and time suck that you got to do when you're in the editing room. So yeah, big con. And for the last con, it almost made me not get this camera. And that's the fact that I can only shoot up to 30 frames a second in 360 mode. Well, you can shoot up to 60 frames per second in 360 mode in a lower resolution. The problem is, I don't think I would ever want to use anything lower than that 5.7K resolution for everything. The thing is, I used to shoot everything in 60 frames a second. And I know that's like such an amateur thing to do, but hear me out. Like, I think it is just much more efficient to not worry about camera settings and always shoot in a certain frame rate, so that at any given time, I can slow my footage down or speed it up to really bring out and like help you dial in on what I want you to see. Because with blading and any kind of action sport, things can happen so quickly that you don't get to appreciate what just happened. And I really enjoy just the ability to slow things down and really focus you on like what's going on, or just set a mood even with the slow motion and just a vibe and a feeling for the video. And unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to do that with this, at least in 360 mode. You know, all in all, I'm really excited and looking forward to using this and getting to learn and try new techniques with it. It's just a whole new tool in my tool set of filmmaking, which I'm really excited about. I really want to know if you guys think that from this video today, this is my first ever foray into 360 footage. You know, what you guys thought about it? Was, you know, was it something that was better than my old style of footage and my old editing techniques? Is there anything that you would say you would like to see more of, less of, tips, tricks, whatever? I mean, if you have any comments and would like to let me know what you guys thought of today's episode, please let me know in the comments below. I really want to know if this was worth purchasing or not. And yes, I did purchase this with my money. Insta360 did not give me this. Yeah, I'm still excited for this. Looking forward to using it a lot more and getting better with it. But I think that's gonna be all for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this, got something out of it. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, make sure you're in that bell so you miss any of these uploads. And until next time, guys, just keep rolling.